Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you guys today? That you get on up in here. Welcome, everybody. Give you guys a chance to get up in here. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% conscious, debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt, worshiping the credit gods of Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and believe they are nothing without credit. You know what I'm saying? And I am here to show you only people in the debt matrix believe that. It's not true. Credit is nothing more than a tool. You don't need it. You don't need to depend on it. It's no different than a lawnmower. Good morning, Tevin. No different than a lawnmower, weed eater, hammer, broom, mop. It's the same thing. You just use it and then you just put it away. Okay. I'm here to show you guys I'm showing you in a way because I'm showing you because I'm doing it, right? I'm not just saying it, I'm doing it. And everything I'm doing is backed up by mathematics. So what I say is just not theory. It's not just my opinion. It's not something I read. It's mathematics. Okay. And as you guys can see in the title, I know this doesn't have really much to do with finances, but it kind of goes along with my journey into helping people become financially free, the true financial freedom, right? True financial freedom is not having any debt. That's the true financial freedom, right? And I need to discover that. But anyway, today I was, pretty much everybody knows that Kobe and his daughter and 8 other people or 7 other people on that helicopter crashed and died. You know what I'm saying? And it was like bombarded all over the media and social media and news, right? And I found myself just looking at it. I mean, it was all day. I was looking at it all day on the news, on my timeline, and it was just, it's sad, and many things go through my brain as I'm just thinking about it. Everybody, good morning, Amina. And I was thinking about it so much that I dreamed about it when I went to sleep. I went to sleep thinking about it. I remember waking up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, and it was in my brain. And then when I went back to sleep, I went to dreaming about it. And then when I woke up this morning, I was thinking about it, right? Yes, it's very sad. Black American television news. What's going on? Sad, unfortunate. But there was a few things I thought about that. I thought about the other 7 people on that helicopter. Yeah, they were in the news and media a little bit about them, but you didn't really hear about them. All deaths are the same, but of course, our society and Kobe was bigger. But anyway, my point is this: when I went to sleep thinking about it, I was dreaming about it, woke up, used the bathroom, went back to sleep, went back into the dream, woke up this morning and was still thinking about it. And I thought to myself, what would happen if I thought about my own life that way, with that much concentration, that much focus? I could probably literally picture and see how I want my life every single day. I just put it in my mind. I mean, if I can do, even though we see the pictures of Kobe and his daughter, I didn't know them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't physically know them. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I still feel the pain, but you know what I mean? I didn't know them, right? But and that's what happened when I put my concentration on it, right? So what if I put that much concentration on myself? In the same way, think about what I want in life, where I want to go to sleep dreaming about my life today, where I want it to go. Because I'm not saying that I'm not happy with my life today. I'm just saying there's always more. You can see it. Everybody, look at Kobe's life. He lived a wonderful life. There's always more. And wanting more is not a bad thing. It's not a selfish thing. It doesn't mean you don't appreciate. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate what I have today, but there's always more. Always more to be happier in life, right? And getting out of debt has shown me that. This is how savings minus debt was born. This is how I'm even able to help you guys to see what's possible outside of debt. If you're a person that has grown up and it's not your fault. If you've grown up and thought debt was part of life and you were taught by your parents, your grandparents, whatever, you don't be upset that they didn't teach me nothing. They should have shown me this. No, this is what you got to think. If they knew that you didn't have to live in debt all your life, they would have shown you that, because they don't love you any less just because they didn't know something, right? They didn't know, or else they would have shown you. It's really that simple, because these people love you. And once you get over that, because I got over that it took me, once I got out of debt and then I quit my job and didn't work for a year, the year really showed me a lot. It showed me a ton, right? But let's rewind back before I even quit my job. I want to share this with you guys. Once I got out of debt, I saw how free I could be, how free it really was, how free life was really. And then it got to the point to where I wanted to quit my job. That was one of the biggest fears of my life. Huge, huge fear. Here I'm making $160,000 a year, and I'm saying I'm about to quit. That was so big. I really kind of skim over that for you guys, but I need you guys to understand that was huge. This is something. I went to college for 4 years, got my computer engineering degree, worked my way up the corporate ladder systematically. I know we think that's a different story, but systematically. I remember when I first started out, I wanted to get to 50,000. Then I did it. Then I said, okay, let me get to 80,000. Then I did it. I said, let me get to 100,000. I said, then I did it. Then I said, let me get to 150,000. Then I did it. Now we get to a point to where I say I quit. Now, imagine the fear. I mean, just think about it right now, you guys. Imagine quitting your job. You could just feel that fear run through your whole body, right? Now I'm here to show you and tell you what it's like on the other side of that fear. Fear, I now understand that fear is not something to run from. Fear says, hey, come this way. There's something on the other side of me that is very beautiful, that is very calming, that is very free. You just got to come towards me and not be scared of me. And now, you guys, I'm on the other side of that fear of quitting the job. And I'm here to tell you that it is beautiful. It is lovely over here. It is lovely over here. You You see a man like Kobe, you think, wow, man, look at him. He just got everything. He's doing everything. That's because he chose to live his dream the way he wanted to live, right? But you still don't know when your time has come. Now imagine if you're in debt and you're sad about your job and your miserable life, and then you die. I mean, when you're dead, you're not going to know you're dead. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying getting out of debt helped me live life the way it was truly meant to be lived. What's going on, Abe? On the other side of quitting my job, that other side of fear, it is beautiful over here, you guys. It's beautiful. Had I not faced that fear, I wouldn't have been here talking to you guys right now. Definitely not on YouTube talking to you guys. Definitely wouldn't have had 1,300 subscribers. Nobody would have known who LJ was. Not that that's even important. I'm just saying the outcome of facing fear and going straight for it. Now, every time I see a fear, anytime a fear comes in my life, I turn to it and go straight for it. I'm like, why is that there? I already know there's beauty on the other side of fear. I already know that. How do I know that? I quit my job, which was terrifying. It was literally terrifying. Thanks, Abe. Appreciate it. And even this, Abe, you know what I'm saying? Even a lot of people don't know that I started out with Food Ain't My Daddy. Food Ain't My Daddy was my first one. I wanted to defy all stereotypes of what a 50-year-old should look like. My motto is this: if you want to be successful in any part of your life, do the opposite of the majority. Do the opposite of the majority and you'll be happy. So that's what I decided to do with my body. Just to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to look like the stereo, because when you're in your 20s and 30s, and when people tell you and TV shows you what they believe 50 is going to look like, you just believe that. Oh my God, that's 50. No, you don't. You don't have to look like that. That's a picture of me last summer. That's me. No photo editing, none of that stuff. That's just me. And that's 50. You can look and be anything you want. So anyway, when I first started out with Food Ain't My Daddy, it was that industry, the health industry, had too many variables that could send people trying to get in shape many different directions. Okay. They just didn't know who to trust. What should I eat? Don't eat, exercise, go to this gym, do that. There was too many people that could say false things. Right. And I already took it to a level saying, you know what? I'm going to keep my body and live healthy as a lifestyle, not just a fad, not just for the summer, not just for a trip, not just for a vacation, year round. Then at that moment, I decided it was too much noise in that area. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take it up a level. I'm going to do something something else that the majority of Americans, people, and not even just Americans, people in the world do: become debt free. I'm going to do something that most of the people in the world believe to be impossible: become debt free. The majority of people in the world believe that they need to be rich to be financially free. That is a myth. That is not true. How do I know it's not true? I'm proving it. All I had to do was get on the other side of fear. And I thought to myself, if I could concentrate, if my mind concentrated this hard on the death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter to where I'm dreaming about it, I can apply the same concentration on my own life of what I want it to be. because it already is right now. But I didn't. This came to me today, and I wanted to share this with you guys because I wanted to give you guys a little insight of what it is, what it's like personally. I now understand that anything's possible. All I got to do is put my full concentration on it to where I'm dreaming it, waking up thinking about it every day in a good way, not obsessively, just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm already showing like everything. Now that I got over this fear, there's another one. There's another one out there. And I see it. I'm headed straight towards it. I'm not running from it. I'm going straight towards that fear. I always look at fear now as why are you here? What's the reason why you're here? Because I need to, and it's like fear talks to me now. It's like, because I'm trying to show you something. I've shown you many times in the past. That's why you're here that's why you're in this position right now, Linnell. Within the last 5 years, you guys, my whole life has changed totally changed. I went from the programming of systematically believing that everything progresses in stages, this step, get this job, get this degree, and then I can move up the ladder in the corporate. That's all a myth. You don't have to follow that system. You don't. You can choose any path you want to choose in your life. You don't have to follow the masses. The masses you do the opposite, everything. You do everything the opposite of the majority, and you will be free. I remember when I first started on this debt-free journey, I thought, I remember sitting in my car thinking, this is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to work until I retire and die. That's life. I refuse to accept that. Absolutely refuse. I had no idea of the answer, but I just said to myself, I refuse to believe that. And this is the difference, you guys. When I said it, I meant it. And I had no idea how it was going to change. I had not a clue. But I remember sitting in my car, I absolutely refuse to accept that I work until I'm 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever, and then die. I'm not doing that. Next thing you know, I Googled, came across Dave Ramsey, and never looked back. And I remember when that fear of quitting a job, it just seemed so big, right? It just seemed so big. Like that was huge. Now that I'm on the other side of it, I was like, it wasn't really that bad. It wasn't really bad at all. It actually freed me. Had I not taken that step and faced fear, I probably would have been still working at the same job I did back in 2016. Matter of fact, I know I would have been still there, just getting up, going to work, sit there 8 hours. No, get up, get in the traffic, sit there at work for 8 hours, and then get in traffic again to go home and just repeat that cycle over and over. And I remember saying that when one of the things that I would not accept when I was sitting in my car, I said, I refuse to accept that I just get up, go to work, go home, get up, go to work, go home, get up, I refuse to accept that. And my life has changed. And during this course, you're going to, I had to lose some friends. Because mentally, everything changes. I didn't really talk about the same things I used to talk about. I don't really gossip about people or talk about things that are relevant. I have no time to do that. It just doesn't interest me. So you're going to peel off. When you take this journey, you're going to peel off some friends that maybe been friends with you for years. And then they're just going to slowly fade away because you're not going to have anything in common with them anymore. And if you're feeling that right now, I'm telling you, that's the exact reason why, because you're changing, you're evolving, and they are choosing to stay the same. And there's nothing wrong with it. Hey, if they choose to be there, they just choose to be there. They just don't fit in your world anymore. And it's really that simple. I dropped a few friends. And now that I know the death, just this death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, I know that unconsciously I was just immersed in it, right? To where it just consumed my brain. And then I slept it, dreamed it, woke up this morning talking about it with my girlfriend, everything. And then I realized, damn, if I do that with my own life, imagine how my life will turn out exactly the way I picture it in my mind. It already has now. Those of you guys that are following me right now, I'm sharing with you the pattern. Okay. I'm showing you guys everything I'm saying to be true. I can prove it with mathematics, everything. That's number one. I can prove everything I'm saying. And number two, check this out. So you guys can understand the pattern. There's the pattern. Look at that. For me showing people how to become free, that is the pattern. Whatever you, damn, how can I even put this in words? Whatever your passion is, okay, it's not as hard as you think. All you got to do is figure out the pattern. Once you figure out the pattern, you can prove to your clients that follow. You can prove it. The first one with me was mathematics. The second one was credit reports. Look at that. The pattern is the zeros. Look at all the zeros. This is, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to show you guys, this is, let me put this in a way. When you get out of debt, you know how okay, put it this way. When you're in the debt matrix and you want to get out of the debt matrix, right? You don't know who really to follow. You really don't know who to take financial advice from. So what do? You just go by, the majority of people just go by what they see. If the person looks like they have money, if they're dressed nice, if their hair is done, if their beard is trimmed right, if they're always getting on social media talking about they're grinding and grinding and grinding, get that money. No, it's not none of that. Because the majority of people that are chasing money, if they turn around, they'll find out they're just running from debt. Once you get on the other side of the debt matrix, this is what your credit report will look like. This cannot be faked. Your credit report cannot be faked. It cannot be changed. You ever hear of a hacker hacking into the credit bureaus, all three of them, and changing people's credit reports? Nah, they'll bury you under the prison for that. That can never be changed, ever. Nobody's going to hack in and wipe away the student loan debt. That'll never happen. You'll be buried under the prison. That's trillions of dollars you're messing with. No, sir, that'll never happen. This is why it's solid. This right here is tied to a person's social security number. It can't be changed. Now, anything can be, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying the probability of it is highly unlikely. Once you get to this point and your credit report looks like that, this is how you will navigate the financial world from here on out. This is how you'll navigate to decipher from the real people and the fakers. This is how you do it. Anybody that you decide to take financial advice from, I will ask to see their personal credit report first. Anybody that says, hey man, man, your business is growing. I would like to handle your accounts and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'll say, that's cool, but let me see your personal credit report first. Their personal credit report will show me if they're coming from a debt perspective or a debt-free perspective. There is a big, big, huge, ginormous difference. This is the difference too. Like if you're 18 and you see a credit report look like this, the majority of people in the debt matrix will say, yeah, of course your credit report looks like that. You're 18, right? But when you're 50 and your credit report looks like that, that's different. Very different. This is how you'll navigate through all the fakers. You can take this same credit report, and when you start a business, because it's a whole different world when you get outside the regular, normal working world that you just, hey, this is that. This is we go to work, 8 hours, this, da da da, right? This is totally different. Once you get out of the regular working world and you get debt free and you get onto the business side of things, because believe it or not, on the business side of things, there are people that have successful businesses that are in debt and they're broke, but you can't tell from the outside. This is all you got to do. Let me see your personal credit report and I'll believe you. Their credit report will have to have this pattern that I'm showing you guys right now. This is the pattern. Zero collections, zero student loans, zero other loans, zero auto loans, home loans, zero. There's some people with zeros that own their home, and there's people at the bottom right there that still owe on their home, but that still owe on their home. But look, the pattern are the zeros. That's the pattern. I absolutely refuse to ever go back into the world I left. I conquered that big fear, the fear of quitting your job. I conquered it. I beat it. And on the other side of that fear was freedom. Freedom was on the other side of that fear. That fear was so bright, it's like it just scares you. Fear makes you want to run. But it's not saying run from me. It's saying, hey, come this way. But since it's so unknown, remember the majority of people just have jobs and that's just the way of life. And nothing's wrong with it. If you want to work until your dying days, go ahead. It's actually nothing wrong with that if you choose, but that's not what I choose to do. Fear was saying, come this way. If you get past me, figure out what it is that's going to get past me, you will see on the other side. And now I see it. Now to look back and be like, go back through fear and go back to the other side. No. It's weird to have a fear. Like, this is weird. It's weird to have a fear of having to go back into the debt matrix, into the regular working world, even though I've made it on the other side to know what it's like not to be over there anymore, right? That's a different kind of fear. That's a wrong kind of, that's a made up fear. Okay. I'm concentrating on something that doesn't even exist. Here I am on the other side of that fear of quitting my job in the 40-hour work week. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this fear to keep me driving to be successful. No. That's not the same fear. The first fear was the fear of the unknown. This fear right now, this fear of going back is a fear I do know. That what am I fearing? Oh, just to go back. No. What's on the other side of that fear? 40-hour work weeks. No, that's a made up fear. I'm just making that up in my brain. That's a known fear. The unknown fears are the scariest. Don't get confused with the known fears versus the unknown fears. Don't get the unknown fears are the one you need to face, because you got to look at it and think, what am I fearing? What is there to fear? I don't know. Okay, let me go figure it out. And then you get on the other side, you're like, it wasn't really that bad. I promise you guys, especially the younger generation, the 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, I want you guys to see these credit reports. You guys are young enough to make yours look like these few people here. Well, that's including myself, but there's some others. I'm going to keep adding to them, right? Your credit report can look like these. Now, I know the majority, if you grew up in debt, you've probably never seen this in your life, probably never even thought of it. I know I didn't. I never thought of that. Abe says, I'm scared of being broke. I'm on the other side of that, Abe, and I'm going to tell you something. That's a conditioned mindset. You know what? It has you scared of that? The news. Like here, let me give you an example of what I mean, because everything I say to you, Abe, I can prove. Okay. When I hear the news say something like, hey, what's the average, what's considered poverty? And I believe they said around 35,000. If you're making $35,000 a year, you're considered poverty level, right? You're considered lower class, right? That's what they say. But you got to remember who is telling you that information. Because if you made $35,000 a year and you had no debt, you're not in poverty. I promise you, you're not. You know why? Because that's how much I spend a year right now. Between $30,000 to $35,000 a year, and I live comfortably. Now, according to what society says I'm broke. I'm lower class. Right? $35,000 says I am the bottom first, what is it? Middle class, upper class, and lower class. It says I'm lower class. I'm broke. I'm poor. No, I'm not. Get out of debt, Abe, and you will no longer have a fear of being broke, because that broke version, they're talking about the average, the collective average. That's the collective average. The average is made up of millions upon millions of people that think collectively. They make the same financial decisions as one. Jayla says, I never owned a credit card, but once finished with student loans, I should look into getting one to build my credit score, or are there other ways to do so? I think I know the answer, but just want a second opinion. Yeah, get one credit card. I only have one. And see, look at the pattern up here on the credit reports. That's what I want. That's with one credit card. One credit card. Look at their balance. Look at my balance. Don't pay attention to my balance, because I spend money on business. But look at the normal balance is 300, 400, whatever, right? That's with one credit card. And look at the credit scores. Just get one. Not a secured and unsecured credit card. Secured credit cards would be giving your money away. Nope. Don't ever do not ever do a secured credit card ever. Credit is not a necessity. It's not a necessity. It's just a tool. So that's what I suggest. Get one. Once you pay off your student loans first, get out of debt first. Once you're out of debt, apply for a credit card. Doesn't matter the percentage rate. It doesn't matter the percentage rate, and don't get anything with the annual fee. When you're out of debt, you don't pay to have a piece of plastic in your pocket. I don't care what the credit card company says. We don't pay for a piece of plastic in my pocket. I will never do that, ever. The interest rate will never matter, because you're never going to be paying it anyway, because you're going to be paying it in full each and every month. Every month. Each and every month, that's what you'll be doing. Always remember that. Your whole world is once you get this pattern right here on the credit reports, I keep reiterating this, okay? This is tied to a person's social security number. The chances of them, a scammer, being able to change their personal credit report is highly, highly unlikely. This will be your navigation tool to navigate to meet the right people that will help you along your passion, your journey, the people that was going to help you go the right direction because people in the debt matrix, they can't. They can only come from a debt perspective. If you get with somebody that's trying to give you financial advice that have student loans older than their children, don't believe that they'll ever be able to pay off their student loan, they're giving you the wrong advice. I promise you, they're giving it from the debt perspective. I see it all the time. I see it all the time on social media. People that are buried in student loan debt giving financial advice. You want to think, you got to ask yourself, how could they can't, that's mathematically impossible for someone like that in that position to give financial advice. That's impossible. That is absolutely impossible. Check out my video, Abe. Check out my video on secured credit cards. I explain it in detail. Okay. I explain it in detail. Just go to my videos, do a search and do a search on secure credit cards. I think I've probably made a couple videos on that because that is a huge question. I think it's one of my most popular videos too. Jalen says, yeah, my bank always offers me to get a secured CC. I always tell them I don't believe in paying interest on my own money. And then they just shut up because they know that's why they shut up. They know you're not they know you understand money because that's exactly what it is. Just a brief overview, Abe. This is what a secured credit card is. Even the word secured kind of confuses people. And it's this it when it comes to money, you guys got to really pay attention to words and the definition of words when it comes to money always, because I've had many people thought secure credit card meant like it's impenetrable from hackers and all this other stuff. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do that with that. Say like you went to go get a $500 secure credit card. Secure credit card means you're going to secure that credit card with your own money. So if they approve, I don't even know what the approval process. I'm surprised it sounds even just stupid that you have to be approved for a secure credit card. It just doesn't make any sense, right? It's almost like no different than a prepaid cell phone. You know, you have to be approved for a prepaid cell phone. No, but anyway, say like the bank approves you for a just saying that is funny. $500 secure credit card, right? You take $500 in your hand that you already have in your pocket, in your drawer, under your mattress, whatever. You take that $500, you go down to the bank and you give it to the bank. The bank swaps that for a piece of plastic and they give it to you, which is the secured credit card. They take that money, secure it away, and then they loan it out on the back end for whatever percentage rate. They add it to the millions. So if they had $1 million in the bank, now they have $1,500,000, right? And then they loan that money out at an interest rate to whoever taking loans, right? And then they charge you an interest rate when you go spend that money and make payments back. They charge you an interest rate on your own money. It's like double dipping. But I'm not saying this in a bad way. This is business. I don't care what the banks do because I got a secured credit card one time, but I was in a debt matrix. Once I got out, and then I could see it. But when you're in the debt matrix, you can't see it. I was so concentrated on my credit and credit score and get my credit up, I was blinded. I couldn't see what was really happening. And then once you do that, you'd be like, oh man, that is just the dumbest thing. And why is it approval? It's just you're giving them money securing the credit card, but then they charge you like 20 something percent on your own money, all for the privilege of them reporting to the credit bureaus. Hey, credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and whatever the last one is. This person paid us back their own money on time. And I believe on the credit report, it even says secured credit card. Secured credit card on a credit report is a red flag because only people with bad credit or not so good credit have secured credit cards. People with money and good credit, they don't have secured credit cards. That's a red flag. This is most of you guys have no idea how much of a breakthrough this is with this pattern I found with credit reports. Even if you showed somebody in debt, say like you took this picture, take this picture and show, and I try to show you guys things that you guys can go out in the world in the debt matrix and prove to be true. So just don't even just take my word for it. I want you guys to verify on your own if everything I'm saying is true. Everything. Take a picture of these three credit reports and go show somebody, show your friends and say, "Hey, what does this mean to you? What does this look like?" Ask them questions about it. Just take and say, "Hey, what does this mean to you? Does this mean anything to you?" See if they even understand it. People in the debt matrix will never understand these credit reports. That's how you'll be able to navigate through the debt matrix to weave out all the fakers because they don't even know what they're looking at. People in debt have no idea and have never even seen this. People in debt barely even look at their credit report, let alone see a pattern like this. This is a pattern. I've discovered it. This is exactly the reason I know that I hold a multi-million billion dollar idea in my hand right now. I can change anybody's financial life, anybody's, and make them a master of their finances. I will put them in a position to where nobody will ever be able to fool them financially. Nobody, especially scammers. Put it this way, if scammers are heartless enough to steal money from the elderly, children, regular, everyday, hardworking people, you think they pay their own bills? I know it doesn't make sense, but listen, if they are heartless enough to steal from other people, you think they're going to religiously pay their own credit card bills, their own car payments on time, all the collections they owe? No, they're not. They don't respect nothing because they're too busy chasing money and stealing. Their credit report will reflect it. It will reflect that. And people on the internet, people in your neighborhood, people pretending that they understand money, their personal credit report will reflect it if they really know money or not. This is the pattern that I've discovered. I would have never seen this in a million years until Jennifer showed me her first. I didn't even think about it, you guys. I really didn't even think about it. I would just show you guys my credit report and say, "Hey, this is what your credit report's going to look like, blah, blah, blah." And then Jennifer shows me hers and I said, "Oh my God, there's the pattern. There it is." And then another client of mine, Jason, showed me his. There's the pattern. When your credit report looks like this, you know you're free. The zeros. Don't worry about the credit score because I'm going to show you guys a credit report with a low credit score. I'm going to show you guys a credit report with all zeros, right? And the credit score might be 500, 600. I want you guys to understand it don't matter. I want you to see the zeros. What's up, Jennifer? I was just talking about you. I'm saying until you showed me that, I didn't even see the pattern. That's the pattern indeed, and it can't be faked. You can't fake this pattern. How do I know this? Because you got to work hard to get those zeros. You got to put in work. You got to ignore the majority of people around you. You can't care what they're doing. You can't care if they're going on vacations I mean, don't be fooled by Facebook, okay? You probably get online and see them going on vacations and buying new cars and you get jealous. You be like, oh my God, they live in a life. No, they're not. They're in debt. They're filling their lives with things to try to escape from what they're running from. They're running from debt. Okay. That's what vacations are. Think about it. Once you're on the other side of the debt matrix, you can clearly see what it really is. People go on vacations to escape their lives. Oh man, they say it every day on Facebook. Oh my God, man, I get this vacation to they be counting down the days to leave their life to go into this world, this other world for a week or two. And they really can't even enjoy that. Because a few days before their getaway is over, guess what? They're back on Facebook, social media talking about, oh man, I got 2 days left. I got one more day left, and then back into the world I don't even want to be in. That's why I was on vacation. Why not make your whole life a vacation? Like right now, I live in a place which is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I live in a state, a city where people come to vacation. I live here. I live in a place where people come to vacation. When I want to go on vacation, I wake up and I'm on vacation. I drive down the street, drive down to the beach because I live here. I'm on vacation. This is where I live. My every day is a vacation. Jennifer says, oh no, not a fake. That is hard. Work right there. Sacrifice is discipline. Yes, Jennifer knows. See, Jennifer, you know. I can, you know what, Jennifer? I wish I could be a fly on the wall now that you're free and you go through walking through the debt matrix among your friends and family and you hear all that debt speak, that debt talk, and you got to be quiet. You can't really even say anything. I wish I could be a fly on the wall when you hear that kind of talk. When one of your friends come up to you and say, oh girl, look, I got a brand new car. I got it on sale. I worked the dealership. They didn't even know me. They didn't see me coming. I didn't have to hardly put any money down because I got an excellent credit score. All that debt talk. You can't turn to them and say, hey, you know what? I got something to tell you. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. Nobody. And by the way, when you finance that car, you're financing the taxes too. So that's mathematically impossible that you got that car on sale. You can't say things like that to people in the debt matrix. You can't. Jennifer, you can't break out your credit report and say, hey, look, you guys, look, I found the pattern. Look at all these zeros. They will look at you like you are nuts. It's hard work and sacrifice and discipline. And once you get out of debt, it's really not discipline, it's just your new way of life. You learn, you when you get out of debt, you learn how to do it as a lifestyle. So by the time you are financially free, it's just your life. You don't have to worry about budgeting. You don't have to worry about watching your money. Make sure you don't spend too much here, spend too much there, because you just won't do it. It's not even work. It just seems that way when you're putting together a budget to get out of debt. You're like, oh my God, I gotta cut that back on this. I gotta sell this car. I gotta move from this house and get into a smaller house or move into an apartment. These are all the sacrifices you must do to get free, but you'll be free for the rest of your life. Sacrifice for counts on your debt. Let's just say 5 years. Say like you had to input about 5 years of straight sacrifice. And then you got the rest of your life to live free. When I see a person like Kobe, I don't really, I, I look at a person like that and I say, man, this is a dude that just went for his dreams. And now he was living totally free. I wasn't jealous of him or anything. I didn't wish I was him. I just like, this is another Kobe was just another human being, just like you and I. He saw his dream, he saw his passion, and he went for it. And he touched a lot of lives, showing a lot of people what they could do if they just put their mind to it. I'm the same as Kobe. You're the same as Kobe. Everybody's the same as Kobe. Everybody's human. Jennifer says you can't listen to anyone in the debt matrix. You won't care about impressing anyone. Exactly. Ain't that the truth, Jennifer? You don't care about impressing anyone. And you look, put it this way, you guys, if you guys are getting new to this, check it out. I'm gonna try to put this, and maybe you can even say it even better, Jennifer. When you get out of debt, the world becomes more quiet. You don't realize how much noise there is in the world, in the debt matrix, until you get out of debt. You will notice how many things are being sold to you every single day. You stop watching regular TV, you stop watching commercials, you stop paying it, everything becomes a thing. You're not impressed by anybody's brand new car, you're not impressed by anybody's clothes, watch, where they live, their house, their mate, their where they go on vacation. You're not impressed by any of that. That means absolutely, because it means nothing. When I see that on social media, the first thing I think is, I have no idea how they paid for that. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody goes to an exotic place for a vacation, I'm impressed by looking at the pictures of where they went. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go there one day. But am I jealous or or anything because they're doing it? No, I have no idea how they paid for it. Any car, any clothes, watches, anything. It's much more quiet because you don't, I mute, like me personally, I mute all TV commercials. Uh, uh, I really listen to music on my phone, so I don't listen to the radio. There's no way I could listen to a regular radio station. As many commercials on regular radio, there's no way I could listen to radio. No way. There's 20-minute commercials on each and every show on TV. 20 minutes of selling to you. Selling, they sell to you on every, I mean, it's business. Don't get me wrong, it's business. But once you get out of debt matrix, it's quiet because you don't listen to commercials. I don't listen to commercials, and I don't listen to people who speak debt. I don't even pay attention to them. I don't hear them. As soon as I hear a person saying something about finances and they don't make mathematical sense, I don't even pay attention to them anymore. I just stop listening. Somebody that gets on social media and talking about, hey, I got a raise and I just got me a new car and I got a great deal. I just keep on scrolling because I think to myself, no, you didn't. But it's none of my business to make a comment about it. Hey, you shouldn't. No, that's none of my business. They just live in the debt matrix because I always look at it this way. This helps me keep from judging them. If they knew better, they would do better. If they knew better, if they knew what I know, they wouldn't have ever financed a car ever. And I financed many cars in my life. What I know now, I would never finance a car. That was the dumbest thing I ever done in my life. And I financed several. But once I got it, drove off the lot, I went around showing all my friends, and all my friends in the debt matrix, just like me, thought I had money because I could afford the payment of a car. In reality, I had no choice because I didn't have no money to buy a car cash. I had no choice but to finance. But I didn't even accept that. I just said, I got good credit. I got a little bit of money down, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, okay, I could afford the car. That's not true. I was broke. That's the very reason why. I mean, that was the very reason why I had to finance the car. I was broke. Thank you, Snuggles. Hit that like button. Jennifer says, with financial freedom comes a type of peace that's indescribable. Yep. And no one can ever pull a fast one on you. Nope, sure can't. You see, I want you guys to pay attention to the statements that Jennifer is making. You can't, when you're in debt, you don't even know to make such statements. And I want Jennifer to understand. I want you to understand this too, Jennifer. It is a different language. It's no different than speaking Spanish, French, Portuguese, Russian. Debt free is a totally different It doesn't seem like it's a totally different language because we're speaking English. We're just using numbers. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. You speak a different language now, Jennifer. Totally different. And the wonderful thing about this is that you will never be able to turn it off. It's not like you're going to wake up one day and say, uh, I don't feel like being debt free again. I'm gonna go ahead and finance a car. You're never going to accidentally do that. There's never going to be a situation to where it's going to force you to go finance a $30,000 car. Oh man, my car broke down and it's old. I need to go finance a brand new car. You will never, ever say that, ever. That will never happen. Only people in the debt matrix say such things. Welcome over here, Jennifer. I welcome you. As you can see, Jason, see that dude, Jason, right there? That's on the picture on the board there. I mean, on the screen. He was one of my very first clients. One of my very first. Well before I was even making tons of videos on YouTube, he was one of my very first people that believed in me. And look at his credit report. Looks just like yours. Looks just like mine. Except he has a house that he's working on paying off. Those are the only two exceptions to this rule. The credit card, you're always going to have a balance on there because you use it every month, so it's going to vary. And if you have a house, and he's already working on that. But the pattern's all the same. Zeros and everything else, collections, student loans, other loans, auto loans, those will always remain zero. My next goal is to still have all zeros, but own a house. That's my next goal. But right now, our house is the last thing on my mind right now. Right now is to build this business and help more and more people create this pattern in their own life so they could see and feel what Jennifer feels, what Jason feels. I can't wait to see your husband's, Jennifer. I can't wait to see his. I want to see his with all zeros too. I can't even imagine a married couple, both have jobs, both debt free, both credit reports with all zeros. You guys are going to kill it. And nobody's going to know how you're doing it. You don't have to have big money paying jobs. You don't have to make in six figures. All you got to do is just be financially free, just be debt free, and you'll be free for the rest of your life. And then when you have children, you're going to naturally check it out, Jennifer. When you guys have children, if you don't already, I don't know if you do or don't, you're going to naturally pass this along to your children. So your children are going to grow up believing and understanding that debt free is just a way of life. They're going to be shocked when they get out in the debt matrix and figure out that they're going to see that it's not a normal way of life. They're going to come back to mommy and daddy, be like, wait a minute, mom, dad, my friends are all in debt. You're going to turn to them and say, yeah, I know they are. Not you. And don't you ever follow them either. You do, honey, if you want to be rich, yeah, you do the exact opposite of everything you see in the world today. So I want you to Google student loan debt. See it's in the trillions. Yeah, never get a student loan. See credit card debt is in the trillions. Yeah, don't ever get a credit card. I mean, you're going to train them how to use a credit card, but you know what I mean. Trillions in car loan debt. Yeah, never, ever, under any circumstances, ever finance a car, ever. And you sure better not ever finance a phone, ever. I mean, think about it like this, Jennifer. Think about the statement. Now that you're financially free, think about the financial statement it makes when somebody's making payments on a cell phone. You think people in the debt matrix know what kind of statement that makes? No, they don't. They have no idea. Now you imagine them making payments and they have insurance on it. with a regular cell phone bill. And then on top of that, they finance the cell phone. So what else? They finance the taxes too. They are so upside down in a cell phone. That's why a financed cell phone makes such a huge statement about their personal finances. Huge. No, Abe says, so LJ, are you against student loans? No, I'm not. That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. This is all I'm saying. If you go to college for 4 years, okay, you got a maximum of 4 years to pay off your student loans. So if you go to school for 4 years, give yourself 4 years to pay it off. Anything outside of that makes no mathematical sense. You don't be like people going to college for 4 years and then paying on their student loans for 20. That doesn't make any mathematical sense. You'll be in debt forever. You'll be a slave until you're dead. So remember, when you go get college loans, remember, I got to pay these college loans back in 4 years. If I go to college for 2 years, I got 2 years to pay these college loans back. That's how you do it. So I'm not against student loans. I'm just pay them off. When you hear somebody, Abe, so when you hear somebody complaining about student loans, right, and the high price of college or whatever, you got to remember who is saying that to you. Who is saying to you that college is expensive? Somebody that has student loans older than their children, or somebody that just paid for it straight out, or somebody that paid them off within 4 years of graduating. See what I'm saying? Dave Bourne says, if you know they're in the debt matrix, you know how they paid for it. Yes, you do. Once I began my debt-free journey, I can see the debt matrix and how I got into it. Yeah, it starts to be clear. That's how it works, Dave. Soon as you start believing in yourself and you start picturing yourself, and this is why I brought up the title of this death of Kobe Bryant, because it was all over the news yesterday, and and it was just consumed. I was just consumed by it the whole day. I could just feel the energy from it, and then I went to sleep dreaming about it. Woke up, used the bathroom in the middle of the night, came back, dreamed about it, woke up talking about it with my girlfriend. And if you take that same type of conscious concentration on seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, saying, if I pay this off, this is what my life will be like. I mean, and picture it in your head, because you can logically do it, because all you got to do is add up the math. Just do the math. The math will show you the way. It's undeniable. Do the math and say, hey, if I go from the negative to the positive, I'll be free. And you start picturing that every single day in your head, because that's exactly what I did. And once you start feeling it and seeing those debts start disappearing, you can't help but picture the other side of it. And then as you're coming along, as you're coming out of the debt matrix, you're going to be like, oh, damn. Look at all the things I couldn't see. Once you're on the other side, you'll see how taxes can help you build wealth. Taxes can help you make money. How? You start thinking about money collectively. Any taxes you don't pay that the majority does pay, that's money in your pocket. That's called phantom income. You practice now with your regular job. You practice right now. You will understand the true purpose of a 401k. Yes, for retirement, but you can save money right now. It can help you build a 401k can help you build wealth right now. You're probably thinking, how is that? Because it's not the match. People in the debt matrix believe they're getting the 401k match. That's what they believe. It doesn't matter what they believe. It's mathematically impossible to match negative dollars, but the people in the debt matrix don't know that. You know what the real savings of the 401k is? The tax savings. Now that you're financially free, you have the money to max out your 401k. Say, for example, this. You max out your 401k. This as of this year, you can max out your 401k of $19,500. You get to put away $19,500 in retirement, growing. That same year, you get to take $19,500 off of your annual income. That same year, you're getting the match. People in debt can't max out their 401k, therefore cannot take advantage of the tax advantage. See what I'm saying? They can't. It's mathematically impossible for them to do it. It's mathematically impossible for them to even see it. And then you move over to the HSA, Health Savings Account. These are all pre-tax options that the government has put in place. So you max out the HSA, okay? This is what the government says. Hey, if you match out your HSA, guess what? You get to pay out-of-pocket medical expenses with 100% of your dollar. And you get to take that same amount of money off of your taxable income every single year. People in the debt matrix can't do that. They're in a negative. People that are in debt, money is not even real for them. You hear what I said? People in the debt matrix have no idea that money doesn't even exist for them, doesn't even exist. I remember being in the debt matrix and hearing people say that, hearing people say, money's not real. I remember hearing that, right? But then as a person in debt matrix, you reach in your pocket and pull out some cash. You'd be like, what are you talking about, crazy person? Now I can prove it to a person, anybody that I say that to, and they say, what do you mean? You got to prove it to me. I say, easy, that's easy to prove. Add up all your savings and then add up all your debt and then go savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Yes, including your student loans. Yes, including your mortgage. Yes, including collections. Yes, including everything. Is that a large negative number? They will have to say yes. And then I will turn to them and say, if you are in a negative, that means you have no money. So that money in your pocket that you're showing me, it's not real. It's not really even there. You're just imagining that. That's not real. You could tell that to a person in the debt matrix and they still won't believe you. Know why they won't hear you? Because you're speaking a different language now. You're speaking the language of debt free. They won't understand these credit reports that I'm showing you. They won't have no idea what that even means. They don't even look at their credit report. They don't even know. What's up, Derek? What's up, NC Biggs? Okay, I'll say it one more time, Abe. This year, as of 2020, you can max out a 401k with $19,500. People in debt cannot do that. They cannot max out their 401k of $19,500. So people in debt, they contribute a little bit to their 401k because they believe they're getting a match. If they're in debt, it's mathematically impossible for them to match negative dollars. That's mathematically impossible. When you're debt free, you have the money to max out your 401k. So $19,500 goes into your 401k and it grows. That same year, because you only can do it once a year, $19,500. That same year, you get to take $19,500 off of your annual income, which will lower you in your tax bracket. That means you're going to be paying less in taxes that year. Okay? Anything you can do that the majority cannot do is money in your pocket. The people in debt matrix cannot afford to do that because money doesn't exist for them. On top of that, you get to get the match, whatever your job is matched. That's just cream. That's just frosting on top of the cake. The match is just frosting. That's just additional money on top of the three things I just told you about that you have now. People in the debt matrix have no idea that even exists. They don't even look at that. They have no idea. They can't. It's impossible. because they're in debt. What's up, Simon Says? Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, Jennifer, dropping them gems. But now you can hear me even more clear now, Jennifer. You can hear me. You could take advantage of a 401k. I'm not saying I don't know how much money you make, not even asking. I'm just saying it. If you put $5,000 in your 401k, I'm not saying you even have to max it out. Don't take it as if I'm saying you have to max out your 401k. Only do it if you can afford it when you're financially free. If you're financially free and you don't make that much money, max it out at 5,000. Maybe it's 5,000. You put $5,000 in your 401k and you get to take $5,000 off of your annual income, which will lower you in your current tax bracket. And you get the match. People in the debt matrix can't put anything. Listen now this is the exact opposite when you're in debt. People in debt can't put any money away into their 401k. They're broke. So they don't have anything in retirement. Since they can't do that, they can't get money off of their annual income. So they stay high in their tax bracket. The little money that they do put into their 401k, they probably say, "Oh, I'm gonna input up to the match." They're not matching anything. That's just their imagination. If they're in a negative, you can't match negative dollars. That's impossible. That's just what they believe. They don't even know they're not going anywhere but deeper in debt. Now imagine this. I'm going to take it on another level so you guys can understand how this works. If 85% of Americans are in debt, imagine the percentage of those people investing in the stock market. People in debt investing in the stock market, they have no money. That's mathematically impossible for anybody to invest negative dollars into the stock market. So who do you think they're investing for indirectly? They're investing for the bank because they literally have no money. They literally have to borrow the money to invest into the stock market. They're indirectly investing for the bank, and they have not a clue that they're doing it. Not a clue. They don't even know. They don't even know. Jennifer says, "Thank you for the 401k info. I didn't know anything about that until you spoke about it. Learning our tax bracket, great info. Great info. So appreciate it. Like I keep saying, Jennifer, you're a baby over here now. You got your financial diapers on right now. It'll come to you. You'll see, and you know what's gonna. This is what's gonna come to light to you, Jennifer. You're gonna realize the money, how taxes can help you build wealth. Don't even try to explain that to the people in the debt matrix. They won't even hear you. They already hate taxes. They think taxes are the reason that they're broke or poor, can't live somewhere. They believe that, oh, these high taxes. No, once you get out of the debt matrix, you're going to be like, oh, crap. That's the purpose of taxes. I didn't see that. Yeah, because people in the debt matrix was telling you about it. Abe says, so once you max it, it lowers your taxes so you get more back. When you okay, so I'm gonna try to break your question because it's what you're asking is really a two-part question. Okay, first, when you get a large amount of taxes back, now I'm not a tax person. I'm just telling you the basics. This is not some deep tax info. I'm not a tax accountant. You take all this information to your tax accountant and they will verify it. Okay, don't worry about that part. But I'm saying is this: if you get a large tax refund, that means you're giving too much to the government during the year. So you take your average. I mean, I'm just telling you the easiest way. It's really not this simple. Go see a tax person. So say like you had a $2,000 tax return, and that was your average tax return every single year. You divide that $2,000 by 12, go to work, adjust your W-4 to reflect the difference when you break it up over 12 months, and then you adjust your W-4, and then you should not get anything back. The best is not to get any kind of tax return back, anything. You keep that money during the year and use it. Okay. Lowering your tax bracket means this. You got to remember, the majority of people in debt, they're in debt. They have no ability to lower their tax bracket. They don't even know how to. They can't. They're in debt. If you can and the majority can't, the difference between the lowering of your tax bracket, so say like there were 10 people in your household, and this is a number, and you guys all made the same amount of money, but 9 of those people were in debt and you wasn't, and you were able to lower yourself in the tax bracket, that means you would have more money in your account than they would at the end of the year, because they can't. They're in debt. Cosmic Wisdom says, well, Abe, yes, but in theory, if you are working, you don't want a big refund. That means the government used your money the whole year and you won't get any interest. Yeah, they use your money, earn the interest, and they give you back your money. And so when you see people on the social media happy about their income tax check, telling the whole world what they're going to do, they have no reason to be happy. That they just gave too much for the government. The government's not giving them anything. They're just saying, hey, person, you gave us too much money. Here it is back. Thank you for letting us use it. Thanks for the interest-free loan. Thank you for letting us use your money for free. So when you see them happy, that means they don't know, or else they wouldn't be happy. That's just like jumping for joy when you get your paycheck on Friday. Woohoo! Oh my God, what am I going to buy? That you'd be just as excited, because it is the exact same thing. Cosmic Wisdom says you need to look at your tax bracket to see if your 401k contribution amount will lower your tax bracket. Contributing to your 401k will always lower your tax bracket. It will always lower your tax bracket. Always. It will either lower you within your tax bracket, or if you're on the line, it might even lower you a tax bracket. It counts on where you are in your current tax bracket. It will either lower you within your tax bracket, or if you're on the line from just above the previous one, it will lower you into the previous one. Dave Bourne says money is not real until you move out of the negative. Exactly. And that's what I always try to tell people, Dave. You can't tell people in the debt matrix that they have no money. They have no money. Hey man, I can, and they give me this look, and I say, hey man, I can prove it. I can prove it to you that you have no money. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. You tell me, are you in a negative? Yeah, that means you have no money. You think people believe me? Nope. Oh, Abe, I was shocked too. When I maxed out my last year at my job, I maxed out my 401k. Well, I woke up about a half year, 1 year, and then the whole year I did it. So I maxed out what I could, the half a year, and then I worked one more year. Then I maxed out the whole thing that year. And I remember this. Check this out. Once I got out of debt and I discovered the tax savings by maxing out my 401k, I remember doing it at work. I remember HR called me. They said, hey, Mr. Young, did you mean to do this? You know how much money is going to come out of your check to max out this 401k for the year? I said, yep, I sure do. It's like, okay, sir, we're just calling to make sure you didn't make a mistake. You know why they did that? Because people don't do that. That's why they were shocked. They were like, oh yeah, this is not normal. I know it's not normal. Dave says, so if you make 70,000 and you max a 19K, you're taxed on 51 at the end of the year. Yes. That's exactly right. Whatever 19.5 take away your annual income, That money right there, whatever's left, that's the only money you'll be taxed on. And then at the same time, you get to put away, check it out. This is like, it's almost like triple dipping, right? You get to put away $19,000 in your retirement 401k and it's growing. You get to take $19,500 off your annual income, lowering you in your tax bracket. And you get the match. Or if your job matches, you get to get that match. That's like triple dipping. I didn't know that. I did not know that. And I didn't wake up till age 40. You know how many jobs I had that had 401ks? Oh man. If you're young and you know this, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. This will give you practice for business because it's way, you understand this right now with your regular finances right now, and then you'll naturally carry these habits over to business, where there's way more tax savings. There's so much stuff. I mean, I personally would never do it. I would hire an excellent person to handle all that. I don't want to know all that. But knowing the 401k and the HSA gave me some good practice on how taxes can help you build wealth. Do the opposite of the majority. You always look at money collectively now. Like, here's another one. I'm gonna give you guys another one. You know how the majority of financial advisors will say, don't pay off your house. Invest in over here, do this, do that, right? This is what I want you to stop and think again. Always think collectively. Always think the opposite of the majority. So if the majority of people on your block believe they are homeowners and you pay your house off and you are a homeowner, literally are, you're doing opposite of the majority. You can't lose if you do the opposite of the majority. 9 people on your block believe they're homeowners and you're the only one on your block that's a true homeowner. Now times that by millions of people throughout the United States that believe they're homeowners with mortgages. And you're not. I mean, and you are, because you have your house paid off. Can you imagine? Imagine how fast your money will stack. You'll never have another mortgage in your life if you don't choose to. The 30-year, who came up with that? The banks. 30 years? 30 years on a house. I actually sat down twice, signed some papers promising the bank 30 years of my future earnings, money that doesn't even exist. I said, hey, bank, check it out. I haven't even made this 300,000, but when I do, bank, it's promised to you. Here, and I'm gonna sign on the dotted line for it. 30 years. That sounds like a straight nightmare to me when I think about it now. There's no way I could see. And you know what's so funny when I think about it now? I remember the 2 times that I purchased a house, and I remember signing those papers. There was a feeling in my stomach that I could not explain as I'm signing it. Sign here, initial here. Sign here, initial here. Sign here, initial here. Having not a clue what I was doing, not a clue. Didn't get a lawyer, didn't know anything about it. Didn't know I was signing my future earnings away. And after I'm done signing, they hand me these 2 little keys made of whatever type of metal and say, here you go, Linnell, you're a homeowner. And I walk out the bank happy as can be, telling the whole world I'm a homeowner. No, I'm not. I don't own no home. And then check it out. And I remember this last home. This is before 2008 crash. I remember got this loan, and then guess what they told me right after I got the home? Hey, check it out. You got some equity in there. You wanna refinance it and do something? No, take out a second mortgage and get that money. I said, hell yeah, let me get it. Burying me completely. Now I'm walking around with 2 mortgages, because have you noticed people in the debt matrix? They talk about first and second mortgages like it's nothing. Getting second mortgages, totally forgetting why they needed the first. You need a first mortgage to even get the house. Now you're going to get a second mortgage to do what? To put money into the house, a house that's not even theirs, not even yours. Not even, hey, yeah, I mean, listen to people. Just go out into the debt matrix and listen to people, how they talk about first, second, HELOCs, lines of credit. They believe it's their money. They believe it's their equity. And it's not even, how can it be your house? How can it be your equity if it's not even your house? That's mathematically impossible, but they don't know that. Jalen says, yep, I'm going to try and max out mine starting in May since the deadline is April. So I'm assuming, Jalen, you're debt free when you say this. I'm assuming that you're debt free. Because if you're not debt free, it's mathematically impossible to max out your 401k. You can't. That's mathematically impossible. Cosmic Wisdom says, that's why financial education is key. Google is a powerful tool. It's very powerful. Google will give you all the answers if you know how to look, if you know what to type in. People in the debt matrix, they don't know they're in debt, so they don't even know what to type into Google. They don't know. People in debt, they don't really understand that how to become financially free, that they have to type in, hey, how much car loan debt? $1 trillion? Okay, I'm never going to get a car loan. Do the opposite of the majority. So if anybody ever tell you, if you're in a house and you have somebody telling you never to pay off your house, this is what I want you to do. Walk through your whole block. Maybe if you know your neighbors or not, ask each one of them and see if they have a mortgage. If everybody in your block is calling themselves homeowners and they have a mortgage, you pay yours off. Pay yours off and you'll be free. You will be a true homeowner. It doesn't matter what people in the debt matrix think or say. It doesn't even matter. Don't even say anything. Cosmic Wisdom is right. Information is so easy these days. It's everywhere. You can learn anything you want on YouTube. But again, you got to know how to listen. You got to know who to take information from. Once you become financially free, it's a whole different language. You can hear it. People that give you direct information, they won't sound rude to you anymore. The reason why people who are financially free and good with money, they sound rude to people who are in debt, because it's just mathematics. You just want to get straight to the point. Hey, this is why this adds up to that. Do this, and you won't have to pay that. And then people in the debt matrix like to say things like, oh, it's not that easy. It can't be that easy. That's too hard. See, and then people that outside the debt matrix, we don't have time to hear that. We don't have time to convince you about mathematics. We don't have time to convince you that 1 + 1 = 2. We don't have time to do that. Jennifer says, I own 2 homes in my life and I didn't fully understand what I was signing. I had people around me just waiting for their commission checks, shaking my head. Now that I'm debt free, I'm wiser. Yeah, same here, Jennifer. I two homes in my lifetime too. Had not a clue. I tell you what, right now, Jennifer, when it's time for me to finance another home, I won't do it without a lawyer. I will never buy another home without, even if I paid cash for the house, I will never buy another home without a lawyer involved that's knowledgeable on this housing buying process, that covers all the things I have not a clue about. You think the bank is there going to tell you all the things you need to know? No, they're not. They're there to make money. This is business. I don't care what they say. Oh man, if you take the time, the lawyer to run through this house might not be available. I don't care. I'll buy it. I'll find another one. This is not the only house in the United States. I'll find another one. As long as there are people that believe they're homeowners. Listen to this closely, you guys, especially you guys, Jennifer, those of you guys that are financially free. Remember this. As long as there are millions of people that believe they are homeowners while having a mortgage, housing market prices will never apply to you. You don't ever have to worry about housing market prices until you sell, never when you buy. Ever. There are millions of people out there that are claiming to be a homeowner while having a mortgage. There are now 40 and 50-year mortgages. You think they'll ever be homeowners? No way, no way ever. Jennifer says, I will never be taken advantage of ever. That will be impossible, Jennifer. Isn't that just so powerful? That's powerful. Somebody comes up to you and try to pull one on you, say, I mean, first you'll hear the way they talk. You'll know right away if they don't make any mathematical sense. But if you're on the line about something, about trusting somebody financially, you say, hey, before we do some business, I need to see your personal credit report. You know, and I know it's nothing to show your entire credit report because there's nothing on there but zeros. It's not a big deal. Here, you want to see a blank credit report? Cool. You can, but with them, they're going to hesitate if they're not right. They're going to hesitate. Why you want to see that? Because I want to see if yours look like mine. What's like that? Zeros. Abe says, okay, LJ, so let me get this straight. If I max out my 401k, it will lower my tax bracket, so I will not get any. No. Okay, I'm saying two different things. Okay, when you max out your 401k, it will lower you in your tax bracket. Let me pull up something. I want to show you something. Okay, let me show you something. 1 second. Let me see if I still got it. Let me do this. All right, let me show you something. Okay, this is rough numbers. I'm saying go. I'm not a tax person. I'm just showing you something basic. Okay, basic. This is not how it's calculated. I'm just going to show you something. So say like Abe, say like you were. Let's say like you were here. Let's say like this. Say like you were there, and you made let's say $40,000 a year. Okay. As a single person, you would be in the 22 percentile tax bracket. Okay, it's 40,000, right? You're just above the line. Okay, no, that's okay, man. That's okay. Don't worry about that. I'm glad you're asking the question, so I want to show you. So say like you had the ability, you were financially free, and you had the ability to max out your 401k. Let's not even say 19,000. Say like you only had the money to put in 10,000 into your 401k. Okay, so instead of getting taxed in the 22 percentile tax bracket at $40,000, you first and you put $10,000 in your 401k for the year. You get to take $10,000 away from $40,000, which will leave you $30,000 of taxable income. $30,000 of taxable income now places you here into the 12 percentile tax bracket, because it goes from 9701 to 39,475. And if you have $30,000 taxable income, you just dropped yourself from the 22 percentile tax bracket to the 12 percentile tax bracket. See what I did there? Now, as far as getting a refund back, you have to adjust your W-4 to not take out so much taxes to give to the government during the year. So that's all they're doing. You get a big tax refund. That means you gave them too much money and they're just giving it back to you. So if you had an average, say like you had an average return of $2,000, divide that $2,000 by 12. Okay, this is gross income. Divide it by 12. And then whatever that comes out to be, gross, and then you go and adjust your W-4 for the month and say, okay, change this to whatever number inside of there, and then it will adjust to take out less in taxes. And then that way you will call what's called flatten your paycheck or whatever. I keep mine within $500, give or take. $500 pay, $500 I get back. I'm trying to lower that down to like $100. If I can get it down to $100, I'll be good. $100 give, have to pay the IRS, or $100 they give me. If I can get it to that point, good. I hope I'm explaining that just a little bit better. But thank you for the question, because I know it's confusing. But again, if you're in debt, you can't do this. Okay. Okay. Jalen says, April is my last month of student loan till I'm debt free. Okay. Student loan's your last thing. I'm close. I can see the door. Just trying to stay on course and have a solid plan to stay on track once I step through the financial free door. Okay. Just right now, Jalen. I mean, just grab the information, but right now, just concentrate on those student loans. Okay, don't add too much. But that's cool that you just kind of just looking at this. That's cool. Okay. Jennifer says, I learned to lawyer up from you as well, LJ. Yeah. Don't make the mistakes I did. I would never, I mean, look at it this way. People will get a lawyer if they're going to buy a business for $300,000. You're gonna get a lawyer, right? Why not a house? If you're buying a $300,000, $400,000 house, why not get a lawyer? It's business for the bank. It needs to be business for you. It's business. Yes. Yes, Abe. It's two different things. Two different things. Cosmic Wisdom says, I'm single, yet my W-2 has 3 dependents, and I still get a small refund back, like $300. That's perfect, man. Anything within, look at Cosmic Wisdom, within that $500, she got hers down to 300. I'm trying to get mine down to 100. If I can get it to 100, I'm gonna feel like a master man or something. I don't know, but that'll be smooth. David says, I have a relative that never reports her 401k contributions on her taxes. Is it good or bad? She says she doesn't want to get taxed on her contributions. Is that well, if she's contributing to her 401k, she doesn't have the choice to report that or not. That's not up to her. It's up to her job. Unless you're saying she works for herself, because 401ks are set up by employers. So they report that to the IRS. She doesn't have a choice to report that, right? She says she doesn't want to get taxed on her contributions. You don't get taxed on your 401k contributions are tax deferred. It's not, you don't get taxed on your contributions. You get tax deductions. You get to take off money on your annual income by contributing to your 401k. You don't have the choice not to report it to the IRS. That's automatically done by the job. Her employer will include it for her. Yeah, exactly. Sure will. NC Big says, can you still pay the 6% after that, or only the 19th? What 6% are you talking about? Pay this. What do you mean by pay the 6%, NC Biggs? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Abe says, so once you lower your tax bracket, what is the benefits? You don't pay as much in taxes at the majority. Remember, only people that are not in debt can do what I'm telling you to do. If you're in debt, you can't contribute to your 401k. So that means the example I showed you, Abe, people that are making the same amount, say like anybody making the $40,000, they're in debt. They don't have the option to drop their tax bracket from the 22 percentile tax bracket to the 12 percentile tax bracket because they're in debt. They have no money to do it. So they stay high. So the difference is the cans and cannots. If the majority can't lower their tax bracket and you can, that's money in your pocket. That's called phantom income. It's only phantom to those whom are in debt. It's only phantom because it's impossible for people in debt to even see it. It's mathematically impossible for them to see it. Cosmic Wisdom says, you all have to experiment to see what works for you. So this tax year, look at your refund and then adjust. See, that's what you got. It's all different for you guys. You got to play with it. Everybody's different. But all I'm saying is this: get out of debt first. You'll be able to see these things better than I'm saying. Then you take this information to your tax accountant, your tax person, and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Run these numbers. Hey, what would my money or my check, my taxes look like if I maxed out my 401k at $19,500? What would that look like? Have them run it for you. Have them do it for you. Quentin says, what are your thoughts on getting a lawyer for refinancing a house? Oh yeah, I would have a lawyer in every part of it. Oh yeah, that's big money. You better believe it. I don't understand. Think about it this way, Quentin. I don't understand any of that. I don't understand none of that. Have you ever seen, I mean, if you're refinancing, I'm assuming that you've seen how thick mortgage paperwork is? That's a thick stack. Sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here. And it's like the pressure. I mean, you can tell by the way they're talking to you, like they're not even giving you a chance to read it. They're like sitting in front of you. It's honestly what needs to happen. You need to say, when they set that thick stack of paperwork in front of you, you need to be able to grab it and say, okay, I will be back tomorrow, a couple days after I go through it. That's the real deal. There is no way you can read that thick stack of paperwork in front of them, sign here, initial. That's impossible. This is what you need to say. Yeah, okay, I'll be back in a couple days. I'm going to give this paperwork to my lawyer. He's going to run through it probably about a few days, and then I'll get back to you. Period. You make sure the bank understands. I mean, put it this way. Let me put it this way. Okay. If you come to the bank and your credit report looks like these credit reports on the screen here, they're going to know that you know. They're not going to be shocked if you say, I'm going to have a lawyer look at this paperwork. They're going to know that you're not in debt. They're going to know you have real money because they know you're going to only have whatever the best mortgage rate on the market is, the best mortgage is, that's the only one that you're going to accept. You're only in their bank to see if you're going to get it from them. This is not a cross your fingers, hope you're going to get the mortgage. It's none of that. You're walking in knowing you're going to get it. You're just determining if you're going to get it from this particular bank. Because if you're out of debt, you barely even want to get a mortgage. Okay. You barely even want to get that. All right. We're going to cut this off in about a few minutes. I have an appointment coming up here soon. So we're going to have to cut this off pretty quick in about 10 minutes, 8 minutes, actually. All right. Abe says, LJ, I'm going to send my family members your way. I appreciate it, man. Just make sure they're ready to hear me because not everybody, a lot of people think I'm crazy, Abe. A lot of people think I'm nuts. A lot of people think like people like Cosmic Wisdom. She's crazy. She's crazy talk. You can't do that. Look at her car. She's not rich. That's crazy talk. NC Big says, when you want to contribute to your retirement, they will pay 6%. So you can do that and then do the 19. Well, I think you're talking about the match, NC Biggs. Some companies match 3%. Some companies match 6%. That's just the frosting on the cake. When you contribute $19,500, you're getting the match. I mean, up to a point. Okay. They're saying, hey, up to 6% of your pay will be matched or something. They're not going to match the whole $19,500. I'm just saying the match, don't concentrate on the match. That's just frosting on the cake. That's look at that as the sprinkles on the cupcake. Okay. The big guaranteed ROI money is the tax savings because you're doing something that the majority of people cannot do is max out their 401k. Ask anybody around you when you go to work. I want you to go into work and say, hey, man, have you ever maxed out your 401k? The majority of people in debt are going to say, oh, yeah, I maxed out the match. I maxed out the 3% match. I maxed out the 6% match. You're going to say, no, not the match, the $19,500 that you can max out each and every year. They're going to say no because they're in debt. They can't afford to do that. Jennifer says, I'm actually studying to become a loan signing agent as a side hustle. I will understand all types of mortgage paperwork. Yes. And Jennifer, when you get in there, guess what's going to happen when you do that? You're going to have to put aside your debt-free mind because now you're going to be in the business of making money for the bank. So you're not going to be able to say something. You're going to see a lot of things that people shouldn't be doing. You're going to see it. You're going to be like, oh, man, you shouldn't get this, but you can't say that. It's business. You're going to have to keep quiet. That's going to be a hard business. I personally couldn't do it because you're going to see some people sign up for some loans that they shouldn't be getting. Hey, you're welcome. See what I'm saying? Cosmic Wisdom knows her stuff. Cosmic Wisdom says, then withdraw its tax using the same tax brackets. Yep. Listen to what she's saying. Dave says that That's what I told her. She said it's not, because then she will not get her tax refund. I don't say anything. That's when you just, Dave, you just got to be quiet. When people talk like that, they're not really, they don't know that they don't know. Okay. Because if she knew, she wouldn't say that. See what I'm saying? That's just, she's probably going by what somebody told her, or, what she feels or what she saw on TV or something. It's not, you just leave it. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. It doesn't matter. This is why I created this channel, so I can come in here and tell you guys I can say anything I want on my channel, and I can prove anything I'm saying. None of it's a guess. You can't. You just got to go. Hey Dave. This is the word you got to get used to saying. Okay. Hey, when you finance a car, you're financing the taxes too. That's not true. Okay. That's what you got to do. Because you got to remember this, Dave. The economy runs on debt. People in debt, that money does not exist for them. They are literally slaves. Literally. They are literally slaves. And we need the majority to stay slaves. And even by saying that, a lot of people would take offense to this. Oh my God, how can you call people slaves? Because it's all volunteer. These slaves are volunteering to be slaves. They're choosing not to believe in mathematics. They're choosing it. This will allow you to keep your feelings out of when you see your loved ones and your family members, and they're going down the tubes, living paycheck to paycheck by their own means because of themselves, by not believing in mathematics. This will keep you from feeling bad for them, because they're choosing to be slaves. Is a slave if they don't know they're a slave? That's the best kind of slave to have. One that don't even know they're a slave. That's the best kind to have. You come across a person that don't believe that they'll ever pay off their student loans. Guess what? They're telling you they're accepting of being a slave for the rest of their life. All right, I'm gonna end it here, you guys. I got an appointment and I got to go. Thank you for following. I much appreciate it. Dave, thank you for your question. Cosmic Wisdom, as always, thank you when you jump in here. I appreciate your input. Quentin, Jennifer, welcome to Freedom. NC Biggs, Abe, thank you for your questions. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Monday, okay? All right, see you later.